Have you heard of Neva, the beautiful 2D game with a watercolor art style made by the same developers as Greece? Have you heard of its environmental message that takes us through a decaying world as we fight to save it? And have you heard of its story that tears right at the heart of what it means to love our pets and the experience we go through when we lose them? If you haven't heard of it, I'm glad you're here, because today on Game Rant, allow me to tell you about Neva. The first thing you'll notice about Neva is its excellent art style. Neva, just like Greece before it, uses a watercolor paint aesthetic to create these mesmerizing levels, although it does tone down some of the effects to form a more natural look and leans more into inspiration from the 19th century artist Monet, with its open, colorful landscapes and melting pot of nature. Neva pops with color in each scene, from the green fields that adorn the opening section to the harsh red that haunts you as you pierce through the nightmare area. It is a gorgeously colorful game, and that pairs well with the changing seasons, as the game starts you off in a lush green summer and then takes you through a foggy yellow autumn, a cold blue winter, and a floral mixing of spring, all accompanied by some of the most picturesque scenes in any video game. The music in Neva, made by the band Berlinist, packs each moment with emotion and importance. From the heartbreak of the game's intro to the exuberance of the more light moments, both the visuals and the art are standouts as they draw players into this exceptional experience. The gameplay department is where Neva sets itself apart from its predecessor. Greece was solely a puzzle game that took you through mostly linear, simple objectives, but Neva's longer runtime necessitates more gameplay variety. And while the sword combat here is fairly simple, it still does enough throughout the game's short runtime to make every moment interesting. This, packed on with lots of new little mechanics introduced in each section, keep the experience fun and fresh around every corner. The gameplay functions less on mechanical depth and more on creative intrigue. One such example is this mirror puzzle in the winter section, where you have to use the other side of the mirror to navigate through the platforming blocks on your side. It's a simple premise, but puzzles like this smattered throughout the game do a lot to keep you engaged. One of the other things that's done really well throughout the game is the growth of Neva the wolf. In the starting summer section, you have to watch out for the cub, help them up off of ledges, defend them in fights against enemies, and free them from the entanglement. But as each season goes on, Neva becomes less of a burden and turns into your protector. It does a great job of telling the story of the cub's growth through gameplay and not through words. But the two most pivotal pieces of Neva are its story and its environmental message. Neva's story is a cyclical tale of loss. At the beginning, the main character tragically loses their wolf companion and is left alone with a young cub. The artistry on display here is mixed with beautiful music and a relatable tale of losing one's pet, meaning that the player instantly becomes locked in on the story that the game has to tell. The ensuing journey of the cub growing through the seasons and you traveling with them across this landscape, freeing the world from a scourge, makes for a heartwarming tale that you can't help but fall in love with. The end is similarly beautiful, but I don't want to spoil it. This story also serves the purpose of telling an environmental message. The beginning of the game opens with a bird falling out of the sky and causing this rot. It kills our friend, destroys our world, and puts immense pressure on us to get rid of it. The Studio Ghibli-esque monsters that adorn each level are so evidently supposed to represent the poison of pollution, harmful gases, and the trash that takes up so much of our oceans and our air. This being the cause of our companion's death ties us closer to the ideas of this cause and give the game a whole new meaning. So that was Neva. It's a beautiful reminder of how important our pets are, how sacred our environment is, and how much we need to value both in this short time we have. So don't just play Neva. Experience it, take in what it has to offer, and grow from the story it tells. Thanks for watching.